Tonight's forecast is sponsored by Ashbrook Audiology, where relationships matter.
Hey folks, thank you for continuing to stick around here. I'm Weatherman Dustin Staples. We always appreciate your company as always. And of course, it's been a very wet, or not a wet day, but a dry and windy day across our hometowns. And of course, this then prompted a special weather statement that was talking about if you got the alert on your weather radios or the alerts that come on your phones for weather app you use, maybe the National Weather Service, you saw it pop up was an increased fire danger due to dry air. And of course, we've had these strong wind gusts that have been moving through our area, and again, low humidity. These are all perfect ingredients for creating some sort of fire or some concern for low humidity, and also those sparks to fly pretty fast. So that's why we've been telling you. We told you already that the burn ban has went into effect. That runs through April 30th. So we're going to have to remind people to continue to be very, very careful whenever you're doing any outdoor burning. Now, again, this does exclude like you're doing grilling, or if you're doing them the bonfires, you're allowed to do that. But remember to please carefully make sure you are doing those in a responsible way. Moving on now to tonight's forecast, we'll see temperatures in the 60s, another warm afternoon. But remember that increased fire threat is out there, so please prohibit to do any burning this week. I would not allow any burning. So whatever, if it's the quickest burnt leaf pile you've ever done, do not do it, because those winds could pick up the gusts could pick up that fire and start spreading that everywhere you're going. So do not do any burning. I would prohibit it all this week. A, it's going to be breezy about every day between now and Friday. And B, we're going to have that low humidity and dry air that's in place for our hometowns. Temperatures elsewhere, excuse me, tonight are going to be in the 40s. Once again, these should be right around daytime highs for January now. We're now getting out of this cool, warm air spell that's moving in for our region. Your overnight low staying in the 40s with calmer winds. Moving on ahead to tomorrow, and this is probably the first you have seen this in a while. First of all, those little green things are not snowflakes. Don't get excited about that. We're giving tomorrow a 7 out of 10, high of 65 here, with those gusty southwest winds moving up to roughly 10 to 20 miles per hour. We may have some higher gusts, particularly toward our friends towards Patrick County there. It's going to be cloudy, partly to mostly cloudy at times. We'll see clouds increasing to late in the day, so what you see, that little blip of that sun may be out there, but the main concern you are going to definitely notice is how breezy it's going to be. And we have a southerly flow thanks to a ridge that has been building here in the East Coast. We have a wedge out west where it's actually much colder air, and you've probably been hearing about this on the national level things where there's a possible ice event for parts from Idaho that is moving all the way over into parts of New York. So they're expecting several feet of snow in parts of the Twin Cities up towards Minnesota, parts of Michigan even seeing some high snow accumulating and ice amount as well. Even parts of Maine are expected to see almost a foot and a half of snow. The further south you go towards New York and Pennsylvania, you may see a little bit of a wintry mix. Meanwhile, our friends toward D.C. is going to be the only closest snow option you're going to probably get for locally if you want to drive about 5.5 hours up to D.C. to see snow. But at this point, the spring flowers may be already blooming. The cherry blossoms, I think they're already beginning blooming thanks to the amount of warmth that we're seeing. Hey, temperatures is going to feel like April tomorrow. Some 60s out there, very warm. Very comfortably warm, I will say. Maybe a stray chance of a shower, but I'm not expecting any widespread rain, but more so it is going to be on the windy side, to say the least. So tomorrow it's going to be very windy, so make sure you hold on to your hat. If you're doing any recess tomorrow or any this week, you should be okay. Moving on now to Friday or the weekend, we're going to be expecting to see a very winter-like pattern, and you know how the drill goes. It's cold one day, then it warms back up. Look at the low, for heaven's sake, Saturday night. 40 degrees is not where that low should be. If you flip the 62 around 26, that would feel more like it. But yes, we're going to have some rain showers. If it is cold enough, temperatures Friday night into Saturday morning may be just cold enough to support a very small percentage of sleet and snow. Then it changes over to a very cold, adamant rain for most of Saturday. But Saturday afternoon, things will begin to clear out and get once again warm for Sunday. So partly to mostly cloudy, maybe a stray chance of a shower as you make your way towards late Sunday and going into the final week and days and welcoming in March at this time. Here's what I was talking about here. Here's the wedge that's built out west. Cold air, and this has been the theme the entire winter for us in the East Coast. We can't even barely get this. If this moves over, then you get that precipitation. Here's what happens. The cold air goes up and then down. I'm pointing in the wrong direction here. So the cold air goes up, then it moves down. The precipitation goes up, and then it also goes down. So it doesn't actually match what it's going for. So officially, we're now 18 days from the start of spring. So if you're counting down, 18 days to go. And by the way, we want to wish all of you a happy Mardi Gras if you're celebrating that today. It is Fat Tuesday. I failed to mention that at the beginning of this. And tomorrow is beginning Lent, Ash Wednesday. Of course, you know, the next 40 days going leading up to the Easter holidays. So definitely feeling like Easter for sure. Heavens, this warmth down here, some 90s possible in parts of South Georgia and Alabama, North Florida. Even seeing that, no 90s here, but we're going to get right close to record high temperatures on Wednesday, setting records back from the early 70s. If you remember, this has been now the third time in the last almost 5 to 10 years we have hit 80 degrees in the month of February. If you remember back in 2017, we hit it right around a few days before ago, 5 years ago, we saw the first 80-degree temperature ever recorded in the month of February for our region in the last 10 years. So, third time's the charm, right? Will we see this trend break next February? I don't know what we'll see from it. Maybe we'll be digging out in feet of snow next year. I don't know where we're going to be between now and the next couple of months. Hey, March can throw curveballs at us, but this projection map, look at that, goes up to March 6th. Showing some much warmer air, and all we need is that cold air to move over to get that precipitation light up to get us good snow if it is in the cards. Do take care, folks. We'll have a lot more coming up for you in just a few minutes.
Your BTW21 weather forecast is sponsored by Zentmeyer Chiropractic.